Hello, it's me, Pearl. I'm sitting at home just like everyone else in the world, so I decided to give you guys an updated full drag makeup routine. Last year I made a video showing you guys my routine at the time on half of my face, so this time I'll be doing my entire face. If you haven't seen that video yet, I'm sure it's hanging around somewhere, so make sure you check that out. Jumping right into it, basically after I shave, I moisturize with coconut oil and block my brows with glue stick. Once that's dry, I use some cream primer everywhere, including over my brows. I like to take a little bit of the primer and wipe it over the glue stick just to smooth out whatever texture might be there from the glue stick. Once that's all dry, I'm going to put on my wig cap and sorry, my hair looks like that right now. So basically I'm going to start by using Kryolan TV paint stick. This is 3W. Just using the full coverage paint stick on my brows and beard areas because they need the most coverage. Remember in 90s cartoons where the scene would look like normal animated and then all of a sudden there would be like a zoomed in close-up shot? That is not what you're going for. Get all up in your crevices and blend all that shit out. The cinematics though, I live for that. Moving on to contour, I know in my last video, if any of you actually watched it, I kind of was against cream contour, but now I'm kind of feeling it because basically I'm not as taut and tight as I once was. So I've really been feeling like having a tan. Basically, I'm gonna paint myself bronze right now. My method to doing this is kind of creating like a vignette shadow over my entire area here. A vignette shadow is when you're looking at a photo and there's a dark shadow on the outside and then it kind of fades to brighter on the inside. If that makes sense. As you can see, the contour is basically focused on the entire outside edge versus like doing any kind of sculpting on the actual face. So at this point, I'm just gonna blend this out and I'll be right back. I am absolutely loving the contrast between my arms and my tan body right now. Going in with highlight, I'm using Mayron Cream Blend Stick in White Girl. In my previous video, I was creating a shape from like my outer lips here all the way out to my cheekbones here. But now I'm really into it just being right here underneath my eyes. When you're drawing your lip on later, this really kind of closes in your upper lip space and helps create a bigger lip illusion. Now that that's all done, I'm going in with Airspun and setting everything in place. Super heavy on the brow area and underneath the eyes. First thing I'm going to do is take some pure white eyeshadow and basically pack it right here where I'm getting increasingly worse dark circles. Very loosely throw that on there because I don't know about y'all, but I've been losing sleep at night. And now I'm just going to contour and re-go over everything that I did with the cream and do a nice deep forehead contour that goes down pretty low because a nice tan forehead really gives you a bronzy look instead of giving you like an ombre sort of glowy white center. So I've been kind of bringing this down a little lower like that. While you're doing this, imagine 30 pounds falling off of your body. Really going for it here. So you may have noticed that I haven't done anything to my nose yet, and that's because I'm going to right now. Basically everybody carves out their nose with like the two lines on either side, right? Well, what I've been doing is just taking my contour brush and basically just hitting it in the center like this and then blowing it out, diffusing it out on all the sides. This is the beginning of my new nose illusion. Looks a little funny right now, but give it a minute and you'll see what I'm talking about a little later. I'm going to take some of this Airspun and bake underneath my eyes and put it right over the top of the white eyeshadow. And I am gonna powder my mustache and beard. And a little bit under my jaw here. And right in the center of my forehead. Okay, so basically the hard, boring, unfortunate part is over. And now I'm gonna bring you in a little closer and we'll start in on brows and eyes. So for brows, I am starting with a very light, ashy, sort of blondish brown color, and lightly beginning to create my brow shape a tiny bit higher than my natural brow. In my last video, I went for more of like a dramatic diva sort of arched brow like this. For me, doesn't really give me like the softness that I'm going for these days. Doing something a little bit higher and rounder and softer contributes to a more feminine appearance versus a more arched diva, dragalicious brow. I'm taking a bit of a deeper brown color and starting at like the top highest peak of the brow, like that, and just adding a dot and then fading out the darkness from there, just to give it a bit of dimension and depth at like the highest point. This method is pretty much completely different to my last tutorial, but that's the thing about drag queens and eyebrows, man. It's like the never-ending story. Drag queens and eyebrows, never-ending story. Now I'm taking the NYX eyebrow marker and creating some very light eyebrow hairs. Very light eyebrow hairs. If it goes on really light at first, just let it dry and then add more when you do a second coat. So I'm happy with this for now. We might go in a little later and add a little more, but this is fine for now. Moving in on the eyes, I'm starting with my eyeliner first. I do have hooded eyes, so I am covering my entire lid space with the eyeliner. I'm basically going to take the same eyeliner brush and map out my new lid space. In my previous video, I took the shape and basically ran like a parallel line along with the eyeliner. Recently, I've been taking the lid a little bit larger and giving myself more of like a big doe doll eye appearance. So I kind of start a little bit higher up here and bring that down on either side. As you can see, I'm basically just carving the top of the eyelid, and then I'll be blowing out the rest of the lid on either side of it. Now I'm going to take a little bit of a deeper brown and continue to add that definition into that crease. Now I'm going to take just a little bit of black and press it right there into the crease to give a little bit of drama right in that little spot, and then do the same on the other side. Now taking a teeny tiny little brush like this, I'm going to just tuck it right here and reinforce that first black line that I drew. Now taking a clean brush with nothing on it, I'm just Gonna press that in there and kind of blend everything together. So as you can see, the crease is definitely defined and cut, but the only real cut that there is this little floating center part. So I feel like this gives me like a really dramatic drag eye, but it still is nice and feminine and soft and isn't a product of me like taking a black line and just carving out the entire lid. I feel like this is just a little bit softer. So on the lid, I'm just gonna throw a little bit of like a pressed glitter in here. You can do anything you want, like a metallic eyeshadow or a highlighter even, but I've been kind of loving just like a pressed glitter eyeshadow. These shitty like drugstore applicators, they're actually great for pressed glitter eyeshadows like this one. So as you might have noticed when I did my brows, I skipped cutting them completely and left them totally soft. So I'm just gonna take a little bit of white eyeshadow and tuck it right underneath to give a little bit of a highlight. Moving on to the bottom half of my eye, basically I'm using black eyeliner to create a very thin line. After I get my liner on there, I'm taking the same two brown shadows and just blowing it out nice and smoky, but not too far down. Basically, I'm not blowing my eyeshadow down too far anymore because if you keep it a little bit higher and tighter towards your eye, it'll keep your cheekbone highlight area much bigger, therefore creating more like a feminine cheekbone. Now I'm going to highlight the inside corner of my eye. In my last video, I took this white liquid liner and basically just drew a line, but recently I've been applying it in tiny little dots, which I feel like gives me a little bit more of like a shinier, shimmery sort of highlight appearance versus just like drawing on a straight up line. As you can see, I added a little bit on the outside corner as well. I'm still taking black liner and putting it on the outside corner of my eye only because I got a little droop going on. So this kind of helps to pull it up a little bit. Now that that's done, I'm going to curl my lashes, add mascara, and I'll be right back to add some falsies. This is the Mama Mitchell lashes from Tati Lashes. They're absolutely insane. They have like 20,000 layers of lashes. I'm obsessed with them. I'm going to pop this on. I'll be right back. I mean, come on. Last thing I'm going to do before I do my other eye is add a few more individual lashes on my bottom using liquid eyeliner. Just because I have like quite thick lashes on the outside of my eye, but towards the inside, I kind of don't have any. Just like that. That's basically it. So as you can see, I very easily created quite a dramatic drag eye. It's not like super hard in contrast. The lines aren't too harsh. The brow isn't super severe. It's very soft, feminine, high, but still very dramatic in my opinion. So I'm gonna go do my other eye off camera and I will be right back to finish the rest of this updated makeup drag routine. I did this eye way higher. It looks like I got some crazy Botox or something, but I'm trying to use my eyebrow muscles to even it out. At this point, I'm gonna take the NYX eyebrow marker and add a few more hairs in my brows for definition. At this point, we're gonna brush off the rest of the bake. Try not to die from excess powder inhalation. Make sure everything is nice and blended in. I'm gonna use a NARS blush to bring lots of color in. Moving on to highlight. Before I was taking my product and aiming it like where I thought the ridge of my cheekbone would be, but now I'm looking at that spot and putting the highlight directly above it and concentrating it all the very highest point and right underneath my eye. And that helps lift a lot better than putting it right down here, because then some of that highlight was dragging down lower and giving more of a bulbous appearance, I guess, if you will, versus like a high angular cheekbone. Finally, I'm taking some highlighter and adding a dot right here on the tip of my nose, and one right here in between my eyes. Now I'm wiping off my brush and just blending those dots out. Get my titties up here a little bit. I'm just gonna throw highlighter right on the center of my chest and bring that down in between the titties. Now take it and put it on the center of your other breast. Getting a little carried away and excited with that. I'm actually gonna add a little bit warmer of a blush just because we're doing drag today. The last thing I'm gonna do before moving on to lips is add a little bit of natural skin texture like freckles, but not freckles. I feel personally like the freckle situation is a little scary and a little overdone sometimes. So this is a way that I've been adding natural skin texture back in, because if you're this tan, you have like some freckles and some like skin hyperpigmentation going on in some places. So I just take a very tiny little brush with some light brown eyeshadow and start by adding a few little dots here and there on my cheeks and my nose and my forehead. I'm gonna take a powder brush and just dust some of that off. And now I'm gonna go back in with the same brush and add a little, I like doing a little beauty mark in brown somewhere in a couple of different places, but I'll start with one right there. Gives you a nice, natural, realistic skin texture. Obviously, you guys know I'm wearing a shitload of foundation, but it looks pretty natural overall. So to begin my lips, I've been exaggerating quite a bit lately. So I'm gonna start about here and get the Cupid's bow going. Bottom lip, I'm gonna start in the center, way down here. Now I'm taking a deeper red color and giving a bit of depth by adding this to the outside edges of my lips and fading it in. You get a fuller appearance with a darker outer edge and a lighter inside. Now I'm just taking a little gloss and punching up this color. Now I'm taking that same white eyeliner that I use on the inside corner of my eyes and highlighting my Cupid's bow a little bit, like this. Just by adding a few dots like so, it gives me a very faint but realistic highlight on my Cupid's bow that just further enhances the lip illusion. Makeup is pretty much done. I'm gonna go throw on a wig and I'll be right back with final looks. So this is the final look, you guys. As you can see, I am fish as f. I literally don't even want to talk because this voice is a complete dead giveaway. I'm just gonna shut up and let you admire this beauty. I hope you guys learned something from this tutorial today. As always, thank you for watching all of my videos and always tuning in. I appreciate your support, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Have a lovely day.